Introduction. Welcome back. I've got something special lined up for you. Imagine walking into a room where no one speaks. No words. No introductions. Yet, within seconds, you feel something. You sense who is confident, who is tense, who is open, who is pretending. No one has said a word, but everything has already been communicated. This is the silent language beneath every human interaction. It decides who is trusted, who is ignored, who is followed, and who is forgotten. Two people can say the same sentence. One builds connection. The other creates distance. The difference is not intelligence, talent, or status. It is social intelligence. And most people never realize how deeply it controls their lives until relationships fail, opportunities disappear, and misunderstandings quietly pile up. Social intelligence is not about being loud. It is not about charm, manipulation, or clever talk. It is the ability to read the emotional climate, understand what is happening beneath words, and respond in a way that builds trust instead of resistance. Socially intelligent people don't dominate conversations. They don't always speak first. They don't try to impress. They notice pauses, micro-expressions, tone shifts, and energy changes. They know when to speak and when silence says more. This book is not about tricks. It is about awareness, because the moment you truly understand people, you stop reacting blindly and start responding intentionally. Social intelligence shapes your friendships, leadership, confidence, influence, and peace of mind. Most importantly, it shapes how safe people feel around you. This is a journey into the invisible skill that quietly decides the quality of your life. Take a breath. Let go of trying to perform. Begin learning how humans truly connect. For more amazing videos, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, comment your thoughts, and share with friends. Chapter 1. The Invisible Current Between People. When two people meet, something begins to happen before a single word is spoken. It happens in posture, in breath, in eye contact, and in silence. There is an invisible current moving between them, quietly shaping the interaction. Most people never notice it. They focus on what they are going to say, how they look, or how they will be judged. But socially intelligent people sense this current immediately. They understand that every human interaction starts emotionally, not verbally. Conversations do not begin with words. They begin with signals. Long before language existed, humans survived by reading one another. A tense face signaled danger. A relaxed body signaled safety. A steady gaze signaled confidence or threat. This ancient system still operates today. Your brain scans others constantly, asking questions you are not consciously aware of. Is this person safe? Are they confident? Do they respect me? Do they understand me? These questions are answered within milliseconds. By the time words appear, judgments have already formed. This is why first impressions feel instant and powerful. They are not logical conclusions. They are emotional calculations. Social intelligence begins with accepting a simple but uncomfortable truth. People respond less to what you say and more to how you make them feel. You can speak intelligently and still push people away. You can remain mostly silent and still create deep connection. The difference lies in the emotional states you bring into the interaction. Your inner condition leaks outward through your tone, posture, and presence. You cannot hide it. Humans are experts at sensing authenticity, even if they cannot explain how. This is why many highly intelligent people struggle socially. They believe communication is about information. They focus on facts, arguments, and explanations. But social interaction is not a debate to be won. It is an emotional exchange to be managed. If the emotional climate is tense, no amount of logic will feel right. If the climate is safe, even imperfect words can land gently. Social intelligence is not about impressing others. It is about regulating the emotional space. Awareness is the first and most important skill. Awareness of others begins with awareness of yourself. Before you can read a room, you must feel your own state. Ask yourself quietly, am I rushed? Am I anxious? Am I trying to prove something? Am I fully present? Whatever the answer is, that state is already influencing the interaction. A distracted person creates distance. A tense person spreads tension. A calm person invites calm. Emotional states are contagious. Humans mirror one another unconsciously. This mirroring is biological. When someone feels understood, their nervous system relaxes. Their breathing slows. Their body opens. Their voice softens. Trust begins without explanation. When someone feels judged or ignored, their body tightens. Their tone sharpens. Their mind prepares for defense. None of this requires words. It happens automatically. Socially intelligent people notice these shifts. They adjust themselves before trying to adjust others. Many people believe confidence means talking more. In reality, confidence is felt through grounded presence. A socially intelligent person does not rush to fill silence. They allow pauses. They listen with their body, not just their ears. Their attention is undivided. This creates a powerful signal. You are safe here. You are seen. You matter. People open up, not because of clever questions, but because they feel emotionally acknowledged. The invisible current between people strengthens or weakens relationships quietly over time. It determines whether conversations feel draining or energizing. It decides whether someone trusts your leadership or resists it. It shapes whether people seek your company or avoid it without knowing why. This is why social intelligence is not optional. It is not a personality trait reserved for extroverts. It is a skill that governs every relationship you have. Consider a simple example. Two managers give the same feedback to an employee. One speaks quickly, avoids eye contact, and sounds impatient. The other speaks calmly, maintains soft eye contact, and listens fully. The words may be identical, but the emotional message is completely different. One communicates threat, the other communicates support. The employee's reaction will not depend on logic. It will depend on how safe they felt. Social intelligence requires slowing down internally. When you slow your breath, your body signals safety. When you relax your shoulders, others feel less guarded. When you genuinely listen, people sense respect. These small signals create large effects. They shape the invisible current, moment by moment. This is why socially intelligent people often seem effortlessly influential. They are not pushing. They are aligning. Another critical element of the invisible current is intention. People sense why you are speaking. Are you trying to connect or trying to win? Are you curious or are you waiting for your turn? Are you present or are you performing? Intention leaks through micro-expressions and tone. You cannot fake care for long. The body always reveals the truth. This chapter is not about mastering techniques. It is about shifting perception. The moment you stop seeing conversations as exchanges of words and start seeing them as exchanges of emotional signals, everything changes. You become less reactive and more responsive. You stop forcing outcomes and start shaping environments. You realize that influence begins before speech. The invisible current is always present. You cannot turn it off. You can only ignore it or learn to work with it. Social intelligence starts here at the level most people never notice. Before persuasion, before charisma, before confidence. It begins with awareness, presence, and emotional regulation. Master this, and every conversation becomes lighter. Ignore it, and even the best words will fall flat. Take a moment now. Notice your breath. Notice your posture. Notice the energy you bring into interactions. This is not a small thing. This is the foundation. Social intelligence is built not by talking better, but by sensing deeper. Chapter 2. Reading people without words. Every human being is speaking all the time. Even when silent, faces move. Eyes shift. Bodies lean forward or pull back. Hands tighten. Breathing changes. None of this is accidental. Long before words, the body learned to communicate truth. Social intelligence is the ability to notice this silent language and understand what it is really saying. Most misunderstandings happen not because people lie with words, but because others fail to read what the body is revealing. Someone says they are fine, but their shoulders are tense and their voice is tight. Someone agrees verbally, but their eyes avoid contact and their feet point away. Words may say yes, but the body is already saying no. Socially intelligent people trust patterns, not isolated signals. Body language is not about tricks or memorizing gestures. There is no single movement that means one thing in every situation. Context matters. Baselines matter. A person who always avoids eye contact is different from someone who suddenly starts avoiding it. The skill is not spotting signals, but comparing changes. Social intelligence means asking silently, what is different right now? The face is the most honest storyteller. Micro-expressions flash for fractions of a second before the mind can control them. A brief tightening of the lips, a quick lift of the eyebrow, a momentary frown that disappears. These expressions often contradict spoken words. You do not need to analyze them consciously. You simply need to slow down enough to notice. Eyes reveal attention and emotion. When someone is interested, their pupils often dilate slightly. When they feel threatened, their gaze becomes fixed or evasive. When they trust you, eye contact feels relaxed, not forced. Socially intelligent people do not stare. They allow natural eye movement, creating comfort rather than pressure. Posture reveals emotional states. An open posture suggests comfort and confidence. A closed posture suggests protection or discomfort. Leaning in often signals interest. Leaning back can signal evaluation or withdrawal. But again, context is everything. A tired person may slump without emotional meaning. This is why social intelligence requires patience and observation over time. Tone of voice often matters more than words. The same sentence can sound supportive or sarcastic, depending on tone. A flat tone can signal boredom or emotional distance. A rushed tone can signal anxiety. A warm tone can soften difficult messages. Socially intelligent people listen to tone as much as content. They hear what is underneath the sentence. One of the most powerful but overlooked signals is timing. How quickly someone responds. How long they pause. Whether interruptions happen. A pause before answering can signal thoughtfulness, discomfort, or disagreement. Interruptions can signal excitement, dominance, or lack of awareness. Social intelligence does not judge these immediately. It notices patterns and adjusts response. Many people make the mistake of focusing outward without managing inward. They try to read others while their own body is sending mixed signals. True social intelligence is you read others and regulate yourself. If you want openness, your body must signal openness. If you want honesty, your tone must signal safety. Mirroring plays a subtle role. When people feel connected, their movements begin to align naturally. Breathing synchronizes posteriors HO. Speech rhythms match. Force mirroring feels artificial and breaks trust. Natural mirroring happens when attention is genuine. Social intelligence allows it to emerge rather than forcing it. Cultural awareness is also critical. Body language is influenced by culture, upbringing, and personality. A gesture that signals confidence in one culture may signal disrespect in another. Social intelligence avoids rigid interpretations. It stays curious instead of certain. The biggest mistake beginners make is over. Social intelligence is not detective work. It is presence. When you are fully present, you naturally pick up emotional signals. When you are anxious or self-focused, you miss them. The goal is not perfection. The goal is sensitivity. When you misread a signal, do not panic. Social intelligence includes repair. A simple clarification, a softer tone, a pause, or a question can restore connection. People forgive mistakes when intention is respectful. They resist when intention feels manipulative. The more you practice noticing without judging, the clearer the invisible conversation becomes. You begin to sense discomfort before words turn sharp. You notice interest before enthusiasm is spoken. You feel resistance before rejection appears. This allows you to adjust early. gently, and respectfully. Reading people without words is not about control. It is about understanding. When people feel understood, defenses lower, communication becomes smoother. Trust grows quietly. This skill transforms relationships not by changing others, but by changing how you see them. Pause now and reflect. In your last conversation, what signals did you miss? What tone did you bring? What posture did you hold? Awareness is the first step. Social intelligence grows not through memorization, but through mindful attention. Chapter 3. Emotional Awareness. Understanding what people feel every interaction carries to conversations. One happens in words. The other happens in emotions. Most people focus on the first and completely miss the second. Social intelligence begins to deepen when you realize that emotions are always present, shaping meaning, reactions, and memory. People may forget what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Emotions are signals, not problems. They tell us what matters. Joy signals connection. Anger signals boundaries. Fear signals threat. Sadness signals loss. When you ignore emotions, communication breaks down. When you acknowledge them, understanding opens. Socially intelligent people do not dismiss feelings, theirs or others. They recognize that emotion is information. Many conflicts escalate because emotions are unrecognized. Someone feels unheard. Another feels disrespected. Words become sharper, not because the issue is severe, but because the emotion underneath is unaddressed. Social intelligence allows you to spot the feeling beneath the argument. You stop responding to the surface and start responding to the source. Emotional awareness begins internally. If you cannot name what you feel, you will struggle to understand others. Pause and ask yourself simple questions. What am I feeling right now? Why? Where do I feel it in my body? This practice builds clarity. A person who understands their own emotions is less reactive and more grounded. People often believe that emotions are obvious. They are not. Many emotions hide behind socially acceptable masks. Anger hides behind sarcasm. Fear hides behind control. Sadness hides behind silence. Confidence hides in security. Social intelligence involves gentle curiosity rather than assumptions. One of the most powerful skills is emotional labeling. When you accurately name what someone may be feeling, tension decreases. Saying, "It seems like this situation is frustrating for you," can immediately calm a conversation. The brain relaxes when it feels understood. This does not mean you agree. It means you recognize. Recognition is enough to soften defenses. Timing matters. Emotional awareness means knowing when not to push. If someone is emotionally flooded, logic will not land. The nervous system must calm before reasoning can happen. Socially intelligent people pause, slow down, and allow space. They understand that connection comes before correction. Empathy is often misunderstood. It is not absorbing another person's pain. It is not fixing their problems. It is the ability to stand beside someone emotionally without judgment. You can empathize without losing boundaries. In fact, empathy strengthens boundaries because it replaces reaction with understanding. A common mistake is confusing empathy with agreement. You can say, "I understand why you feel this way," and still hold your position. Social intelligence allows both truth and compassion to exist together. This balance builds respect. Emotions also influence memory. People remember emotional moments more clearly than neutral ones. This means your emotional presence leaves a lasting imprint. A calm, respectful interaction is remembered long after details fade. A humiliating moment can damage trust for years. Social intelligence respects this power. Another key aspect is emotional regulation. You cannot control others' emotions, but you can control how you respond. When you remain steady in the presence of strong emotion, you become a stabilizing force. This does not mean suppressing feelings. It means processing them without acting impulsively. Socially intelligent people recognize emotional triggers. They notice when certain topics or tones create strong reactions. Instead of avoiding them or attacking them, they approach them carefully. Awareness replaces surprise. Preparation replaces panic. Understanding emotions also requires humility. You will sometimes misread. You will sometimes project your own feelings onto others. When this happens, correction is part of intelligence. A simple question like, "Am I understanding this correctly?" restores alignment. The goal of emotional awareness is not perfection. It is sensitivity. When people feel emotionally seen, trust grows naturally. They become more open, more cooperative, and more honest. Relationships deepen without force. Take a moment now. Notice your emotional state. Notice the emotions of those around you today. Listen beneath words. Social intelligence grows with attention. The more you notice, the more clearly people speak without saying a word. Chapter 4. The Art of Listening Beyond Words. Most people believe they are good listeners. In reality, most people are waiting for their turn to speak. Their mind is busy forming responses, judgments, or stories about themselves. True listening is rare, and because it is rare, it is powerful. Social intelligence deepens when listening becomes an act of presence rather than a pause between words. Listening is not passive. It is an active, emotional skill. When you truly listen, you offer someone psychological safety. You tell them without saying it that their thoughts matter and their emotions are valid. This signal alone can transform an interaction. People open up not because of clever questions, but because they feel genuinely heard. There are levels of listening. The lowest level is listening to reply. You hear just enough to respond. The next level is listening to understand content. You grasp facts and details. The highest level is listening to understand emotion and meaning. Social intelligence lives at this level. You listen for what is not being said as much as what is. Silence plays a crucial role. Many people rush to fill silence because it feels uncomfortable. But silence gives space for reflection. It allows emotions to surface. When you resist the urge to interrupt, you communicate patience and respect. Silence often encourages people to reveal deeper thoughts. Interruptions damage trust, even when well-intended. They signal impatience or Socially intelligent people notice their impulse to interrupt and choose restraint. This restraint is felt as confidence, not weakness. It communicates that you are secure enough to listen fully. Body language shapes listening, leaning slightly forward, maintaining soft eye contact, and keeping an open posture signal attention. Checking your phone, crossing arms, or scanning the room signals disinterest. Even if your words say, "I'm listening," your body may contradict you. Social intelligence aligns body and intention. Tone matters when responding. A rushed or dismissive tone can undo careful listening. A calm, reflective tone reinforces it. Paraphrasing what someone has said is a powerful tool. Saying, "What I'm hearing is," or "It sounds like you're feeling," shows effort to understand. This reduces defensiveness and increases clarity. Listening also involves emotional tolerance. Sometimes people express anger, frustration, or sadness. The instinct may be to fix, defend, or correct. Social intelligence chooses to hold space instead. Letting someone express emotion without interruption often leads to self-resolution. Many people do not need solutions. They need understanding. Active listening does not mean agreement. You can listen deeply and still disagree. The difference is how disagreement is delivered. When people feel heard, they are more open to alternative perspectives. Resistance decreases when understanding comes first. A common mistake is listening selectively. People listen more closely to those they agree with or admire and tune out others. Social intelligence listens consistently. Every person wants to feel valued. When you listen respectfully, even to those you disagree with, you build credibility. Listening fatigue is real. True listening requires energy and focus. This is why presence matters. If you are tired, stressed, or distracted, your listening suffers. Social intelligence includes knowing when to pause or reset rather than pretending to listen. Authenticity builds more trust than forced attention. In leadership and relationships, Listening creates influence. People are more likely to follow those who listen to them. They feel included rather than managed. Decisions feel collaborative rather than imposed. Listening becomes a quiet form of power. Reflect on your recent conversations. How often did you interrupt? How often did you mentally prepare responses instead of listening? Awareness is the first step toward change. Listening beyond words is not about technique. It is about intention. When you choose to truly listen, connection follows naturally. Chapter 5: Building Trust and Psychological Safety. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. Without it, communication becomes cautious, guarded, and shallow. With it, conversations flow freely and collaboration becomes natural. Social intelligence is deeply connected to the ability to build trust and create psychological safety, the feeling that one can speak honestly without fear of judgment, humiliation, or punishment. Psychological safety does not mean agreement or comfort at all times. It means respect is maintained even during disagreement. People feel safe when they know they will be heard, not attacked. Socially intelligent individuals understand that trust is built through consistency, not intensity. Small behaviors repeated over time matter more than grand gestures. One of the fastest ways to destroy trust is unpredictability. When your reactions are inconsistent, people become cautious. They do not know what version of you they will encounter. Social intelligence involves emotional regulation. When others can predict that you will respond calmly and fairly, safety grows. Honesty plays a central role. Trust cannot exist where deception is frequent. This does not mean sharing everything. It means aligning words and actions. When you say you will do something, follow through. When you cannot, explain clearly. Broken promises damage trust more than mistakes. Vulnerability is another pillar. When used wisely, vulnerability humanizes you. Admitting uncertainty, acknowledging mistakes, or expressing learning builds credibility. It signals confidence, not weakness. People trust those who are real, not those who appear flawless. Social intelligence balances vulnerability with boundaries. Respect for boundaries is essential. Trust grows when people feel their limits are honored. This includes emotional boundaries, time boundaries, and personal boundaries. Socially intelligent people notice when someone pulls back and do not push. They understand that respect deepens connection. Language shapes safety. Judgmental language creates threat. Curious language creates openness. Phrases like, "help me understand" or "tell me more" invite dialogue. Accusatory language shuts it down. Social intelligence chooses words that reduce defensiveness. Consistency in small interactions matters. Showing up on time, listening fully, remembering details. These behaviors signal care. Over time, they accumulate into trust. Neglecting small courtesies slowly erodes it. Psychological safety encourages honesty. When people feel safe, they share ideas, concerns, and feedback. This improves relationships and outcomes. When safety is absent, people remain silent, even when silence is costly. Social intelligence recognizes the value of openness. Conflict is a test of trust. How you handle disagreement determines whether trust strengthens or breaks. Calm discussion strengthens trust. Personal attacks destroy it. Social intelligence separates the person from the problem. Apologies are powerful trust builders when sincere. A genuine apology includes acknowledgement, responsibility, and intention to improve. Avoid excuses. Trust grows when accountability is clear. Trust also involves patience. It cannot be rushed. Pressuring closeness often backfires. Social intelligence allows relationships to unfold naturally. Reflect now. Where can you be more consistent, more present, more respectful of boundaries? Trust grows quietly through daily actions. When people feel safe around you, connection becomes effortless and communication becomes real. Chapter 6: Managing Conflict with Social Intelligence. Conflict is not a failure of relationships. It is an inevitable part of human interaction. Wherever there are differences in values, needs, expectations, or perspectives, conflict will arise. Social intelligence does not aim to eliminate conflict. It teaches you how to move through it without damaging trust, dignity, or connection. Most conflicts escalate not because of the issue itself, but because of emotional mismanagement. A small disagreement becomes personal. Tone sharpens, defensiveness rises, listening disappears. Social intelligence recognizes early warning signs and intervenes before damage occurs. The first step in managing conflict is when emotions rise, reasoning drops. If you cannot manage your own emotional state, you cannot manage the situation. Pause. Slow your breathing. Lower your tone. A regulated nervous system communicates safety. This alone can de-escalate tension. Many people try to win conflicts. Social intelligence aims to resolve them. Winning often creates resentment. Resolution creates understanding. Ask yourself silently, do I want to be right, or do I want this relationship to work? This shift in intention changes everything. Active listening becomes critical during conflict. Let the other person speak without interruption. Resist the urge to defend immediately. Defensiveness signals threat. Listening signals respect. People calm down when they feel heard. Name emotions without accusation. Saying you're being aggressive increases defensiveness. Saying this conversation feels tense acknowledges emotion without blame. Emotional labeling reduces intensity and creates space for dialogue. Avoid absolute language. Words like always and never escalate conflict. They feel unfair and exaggerated. Social intelligence uses specific, grounded language. Focus on behaviors, not character. Address what happened, not who the person is. Timing matters. Not every moment is right for resolution. If emotions are too high, suggest a pause. A temporary break is not avoidance. It is regulation. Returning to the conversation calmly leads to better outcomes. Boundaries are part of conflict management. Respectfully stating limits protects both parties. Boundaries are not punishments. They are guidelines for healthy interaction. Compromise requires understanding, not surrender. Social intelligence seeks solutions that respect both perspectives. This may require creativity and patience. Apologies and repairs are powerful. When you contribute to conflict, acknowledge it. Repair restores trust faster than defensiveness ever could. It transforms tension into understanding and growth. Chapter 7. Influence without manipulation. Influence is often misunderstood. Many people associate it with persuasion, control, or clever tactics designed to get others to comply. Social intelligence offers a different definition. True influence is not about forcing agreement. It is about creating conditions where people want to engage, listen, and move with you. Influence that relies on pressure may work briefly, but it erodes trust. Influence grounded in social intelligence lasts. Manipulation works by hiding intention. Influence works by aligning intention. People are remarkably sensitive to why you are speaking. They may not articulate it, but they feel it. When your intention is self-serving, people resist internally, even if they comply externally. When your intention is respectful and aligned with shared benefit, resistance softens naturally. The foundation of ethical influence is credibility. Credibility comes from consistency between words and actions. If you say one thing and do another, influence weakens. Socially intelligent people understand that reputation is built quietly over time. Every interaction either strengthens or weakens it. Another pillar of influence is understanding perspective. People are more open to ideas when they feel their viewpoint has been acknowledged. This does not mean agreeing. It means demonstrating that you understand their concerns, values, and fears. When people feel seen, they lower defenses. Language matters deeply. Influence is not about commanding language. It is about inviting language. Statements feel heavy. Questions feel light. Saying, "You need to do this," creates resistance. Asking, "How do you see this working?" creates engagement. Social intelligence chooses curiosity over control. Emotion drives decisions more than logic. Facts inform, but feelings decide. Socially intelligent influence connects ideas to values and emotions. This is not manipulation. It is relevance. People act when something matters to them. Understanding what matters to others allows you to frame ideas in ways that resonate honestly. Timing also shapes influence. An idea presented at the wrong moment can be rejected regardless of quality. Social intelligence reads readiness. It notices openness, fatigue, or stress. Waiting for the right moment often matters more than finding the perfect words. Trust amplifies influence. When people trust you, they assume positive intent. When trust is absent, they search for hidden motives. This is why influence cannot be separated from relationship quality. You cannot shortcut trust without paying a cost later. Listening is a form of influence. When you listen deeply, people often clarify their own thinking. They may persuade themselves without pressure. Social intelligence allows silence to do some of the work. Nonverbal influence is powerful. Calm posture, steady tone, and relaxed presence signal confidence. Anxiety signals doubt. Your state often influences others more than your argument. Influence also requires humility. Forcing agreement creates compliance, not commitment. Allowing people autonomy builds ownership. Social intelligence respects choice. Reflect on your intentions. Are you trying to win or to connect? Influence without manipulation begins with respect. When people feel respected, they are far more willing to follow, cooperate, and contribute. Chapter 8. Building rapport and connection. Rapport is the silent bridge between people. It is the invisible thread that makes conversation feel effortless, relationships feel safe, and collaboration feel natural. Social intelligence is what allows you to build this bridge consciously and authentically. When rapport exists, trust flows, listening deepens, and influence strengthens, but when it is missing, even well-intentioned communication can falter. Rapport begins with attention. People can tell when you are present and when you are distracted. Genuine attention communicates value. Social intelligence involves noticing the small signals, the way someone gestures, the tone they use, the pace of their speech. By tuning in to these signals, you align your own behavior in subtle ways that make the other person feel understood. Mirroring is one method of building rapport. It is not about mimicry. Mirroring is the natural synchronization of posture, gesture, voice, and rhythm that occurs when two people feel connected. Socially intelligent people allow it to happen organically rather than forcing it. When done naturally, mirroring increases comfort and fosters unconscious trust. Language also shapes connection. People respond positively to acknowledgement and validation. Phrases like, "I see what you mean," or "that makes sense," create a sense of being heard. Social intelligence involves balancing acknowledgement with curiosity, showing that you understand without necessarily agreeing. Empathy is central to connection. Empathy is not agreeing or absorbing someone's emotions. It is recognizing them without judgment and responding in a way that conveys understanding. When people feel understood, emotional barriers drop. Conversations move from transactional exchanges to meaningful interactions. Nonverbal cues reinforce connection. Eye contact that is soft but steady, a relaxed posture, and open gestures communicate safety and interest. Touch, when appropriate and consensual, strengthens bonding. Tone of voice matters more than words. Warmth, calmness, and modulation signal emotional safety. Social intelligence ensures that nonverbal communication aligns with verbal intent. Storytelling enhances rapport. Sharing personal anecdotes or relatable experiences creates shared context and emotional resonance. Stories humanize you, making others more willing to engage authentically. Social intelligence uses storytelling strategically, not to dominate conversation, but to create connection. Humor is a subtle but powerful tool. Shared laughter releases tension and strengthens bonds. It signals commonality without forcing agreement. However, humor must be sensitive to context and the emotional state of others. Misplaced humor can damage trust. Social intelligence reads the room before attempting levity. Listening remains the cornerstone. People often build rapport, unintentionally through active listening. When you listen attentively, your body reflects engagement, leaning forward slightly, nodding, maintaining soft eye contact. These signals encourage people to open up further. Listening is often more effective than speaking in building connection. Consistency strengthens rapport over time. Reliability in words and actions communicates integrity. Showing up when expected, remembering personal details, and following through on promises demonstrates care. Social intelligence understands that small, consistent actions accumulate into deep trust and lasting connection. Timing and pacing influence the depth of rapport. Rushing a relationship or forcing intimacy can backfire. Social intelligence allows relationships to evolve naturally, respecting emotional rhythms and readiness. When people feel comfortable, connection deepens organically. Authenticity is the final ingredient. People sense when connection is forced or superficial. Genuine interest, humility, and presence create a lasting bridge. Social intelligence prioritizes authenticity over technique. Techniques without sincerity feel hollow. Reflect now on your interactions. Who do you connect with effortlessly? Who feels distant? Pay attention to your attention, tone, and presence. Social intelligence is the skill that turns ordinary interactions into meaningful relationships. Building rapport is not a tactic. It is an ongoing practice of awareness, empathy, and authenticity that strengthens every connection in your life. Chapter 9. Reading social cues in groups. Humans are inherently social creatures. Most interactions do not happen in isolation. They happen in groups, teams, families, or gatherings. Group dynamics are complex, and the rules of social intelligence in one-on-one situations expand in subtle ways when more people are involved. Understanding these dynamics allows you to navigate conversations, influence decisions, and foster connection without forcing it. The first skill in group awareness is observation. In a group, there are multiple conversations occurring simultaneously, verbal and nonverbal. Some people dominate the dialogue, others remain quiet. Social intelligence requires noticing patterns: who speaks first, who supports whom, who seems uncomfortable or disengaged. This observation is not judgmented, is awareness. Hierarchy exists, even in informal groups. Humans naturally assign social roles: leaders, influencers, connectors, and observers. Recognizing these roles helps you adjust your behavior. Who holds influence? Who is marginalized? Socially intelligent people adapt to these dynamics without manipulation, aligning with the flow rather than forcing it. Body language multiplies in group settings. Microexpressions, posture gaze, and orientation indicate status, engagement, and alliances. People tend to mirror the dominant or trusted members subconsciously by noticing subtle shifts in attention or alignment. You can gauge mood and potential tension points before words confirm them. Listening in groups differs from one-on-one situations. Active listening becomes selective and strategic. You cannot attend fully to everyone at once, but you can monitor the emotional tone and key cues. Understanding who feels heard and who does not allows you to intervene gently, asking questions, inviting quieter voices, or summarizing points to create inclusivity. Nonverbal signaling in groups is amplified. A smile, nod, or gesture can reinforce solidarity or signal approval. Conversely, crossed arms, avoidance of eye contact, or sighs communicate disconnection or resistance. Social intelligence involves adjusting your own signals to create safety and cohesion without performing or controlling others. Conflict often surfaces more visibly in groups. Differences of opinion, personality clashes, or competition for attention can escalate quickly. Early detection of tension allows socially intelligent individuals to intervene subtly. This may involve redirecting conversation, validating concerns, or mediating misunderstandings before they escalate. Emotional regulation is crucial. Your calm presence can stabilize the group atmosphere. Rapport in groups extends beyond individuals. Building connection with one person influences broader social networks. People notice how you treat others. Fairness, respect, and genuine interest. Signal integrity and attract trust from multiple members simultaneously. Social intelligence scales through consistency and authenticity. Humor and shared experiences remain powerful in group contexts. Well-timed humor, anecdotes, or gestures that acknowledge common experiences enhance cohesion. Yet sensitivity is critical. Misreading group mood can backfire, creating embarrassment or alienation. Social intelligence reads the collective emotional climate before engaging. Observation also includes detecting inclusion and exclusion. Who is left out of conversation? Who is dominating? Small adjustments, like inviting a quieter person to speak or acknowledging overlooked ideas, dramatically improve group cohesion. Leadership in social intelligence is often quiet, noticing what others miss and bridging gaps without overt control. Timing and pacing are amplified in groups. Conversations move faster, attention shifts, and emotional energy spreads quickly. Socially intelligent individuals monitor these rhythms, adjusting their interventions to maintain balance and prevent overload. They recognize when the group needs pause, reflection, or a lighter moment. Social awareness in groups is not about manipulation, it is about sensing collective emotional currents. You cannot control everyone, but you can influence the tone through presence, empathy, and consistency. Groups respond to subtle leadership even without formal authority. Social intelligence creates influence, trust, and cohesion in ways that feel natural and voluntary. Reflect now. Think about the last meeting, party, or gathering you attended. Who spoke most? Who seemed overlooked? How did you influence the atmosphere? Intentionally or not? Social intelligence in groups begins with awareness, observation, and subtle action. Mastering group cues allows you to connect, influence, and foster trust, not just individually, but collectively, shaping environments where collaboration, understanding, and engagement thrive naturally. Chapter 1. Navigating Power Dynamics. Every social interaction carries an undercurrent of power. Power is not always about title, authority, or control. It is the ability to influence outcomes, shape decisions, and guide relationships. Social intelligence allows you to recognize, respect, and navigate power dynamics without domination or submission, creating balance and mutual respect. Power is subtle. It exists in tone, body language, and presence. A confident stance can signal authority. Calmness in tense moments signals influence. Conversely, defensiveness or overcompensation signals insecurity. Social intelligence begins with noticing these cues in yourself and others. Understanding who holds influence in a given context allows you to interact strategically without manipulation. Hierarchy is everywhere formal and informal. In organizations, some roles carry explicit authority. In social groups, informal leaders emerge through charisma, expertise, or relational skill. Socially intelligent individuals identify these structures and adapt their behavior. They do not blindly defer, nor do they aggressively challenge. They respect the flow while asserting themselves appropriately. Observation is key. Watch interactions carefully. Who do people listen to without question? Who interrupts or dominates? Who remains quiet but is deferred to when they speak? These patterns reveal both explicit and implicit power. Social intelligence uses this awareness to communicate effectively, avoiding unnecessary conflict and gaining influence subtly. Nonverbal signals reveal power struggles. Eye contact, posture, spacing, and gestures indicate dominance, submission, or tension. Those who interrupt or speak over others are asserting control. Those who withdraw may feel marginalized. Social intelligence interprets these signals accurately, allowing you to respond with awareness rather than instinctive reaction. Language shapes power dynamics. Commands, criticism, or sarcasm can escalate tension. Collaborative language, curiosity, and inclusive phrasing reduce defensiveness. Saying, "What do you think about this approach?" invites engagement, whereas this is the way it must be, can trigger resistance. Influence grows when language respects autonomy while guiding decisions. Conflict and power are closely linked. When someone feels threatened, their defensive behaviors increase. Socially intelligent people recognize early signs of tension and manage interactions to prevent escalation. This might mean slowing the conversation, reframing points, or validating concerns. Emotional regulation is critical. Calm presence diffuses threat. Negotiation is an essential aspect of navigating power. Social intelligence is not about winning at the expense of others. It is about creating outcomes that satisfy mutual interests. By understanding priorities, constraints, and emotional stakes, you can propose solutions that build consensus, not resentment. Timing, tone, and framing determine whether ideas are accepted or resisted. Trust amplifies your influence in power-laden contexts. People follow and respect those who are consistent, fair, and competent. Reliability in behavior, clarity of communication, and authenticity in intentions create credibility that transcends formal authority. Social intelligence leverages trust to balance power rather than dominate. Perception is as important as reality. Power is often about how others perceive you. Social intelligence shapes perception through behavior, tone, and presence. Humility paired with confidence communicates competence without arrogance. Awareness of how you are seen allows you to adjust subtly and maintain influence. Adaptability is essential. Power dynamics shift depending on context, individuals, and emotional climate. Socially intelligent people remain flexible, reading signals, adjusting behavior, and responding appropriately. Rigidity in behavior or assumption of static roles leads to conflict or loss of influence. Finally, ethical consideration underpins all social navigation of power. Influence should never cross into exploitation or manipulation. Social intelligence involves guiding relationships and decisions in ways that respect autonomy, maintain trust, and preserve dignity. Power is most sustainable when it benefits both yourself and others. Reflect on recent experiences. How did you respond to authority or influence? How did others react to your presence or suggestions? Awareness of power dynamics allows you to act deliberately, fostering respect, trust, and collaboration. Social intelligence ensures that influence is exercised wisely, ethically, and effectively, transforming potential tension into constructive interaction and creating environments where both relationships and goals thrive naturally. Chapter 11. Cultivating emotional resilience in social interactions. Social intelligence is not just about reading others and influencing outcomes. It is also about managing yourself, your emotions, reactions, and stress in the face of social challenges. Emotional resilience is the capacity to remain grounded, calm, and effective even when interactions are difficult, tense, or unpredictable. Without resilience, even the most socially intelligent strategies falter under pressure. Conflict, criticism, rejection, and misunderstanding are inevitable in human relationships. Even socially skilled individuals face difficult moments. The difference is not avoidance, but how they respond. Emotional resilience allows you to recover quickly, maintain clarity, and continue to engage constructively without letting negative experiences accumulate into frustration, resentment, or anxiety. The first step toward resilience is you must recognize your emotional triggers, what makes you defensive, impatient, or reactive. Once identified, triggers can be managed rather than unconsciously acted upon. Social intelligence integrates self-awareness as the foundation of every interaction. Emotional regulation is closely linked. This is the ability to observe your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Deep breathing, grounding techniques, or brief pauses in conversation can prevent impulsive reactions. Even subtle micro-adjustments in posture, tone, and expression can stabilize interactions. Socially intelligent people maintain presence under pressure. Perspective-taking enhances resilience. When someone reacts harshly or unpredictably, it is rarely about you, personally. Often, their behavior is influenced by stress, past experiences, or unmet needs. By separating the person from the behavior, you reduce emotional reactivity and respond more effectively. Social intelligence allows compassion to coexist with clear boundaries. Boundaries themselves are crucial. Emotional resilience does not mean tolerating abuse or sacrificing integrity. It means maintaining composure while enforcing limits respectfully. Saying, "I cannot continue this conversation in this tone," or "let us pause and revisit later," preserves both relationships and self. Boundaries protect your energy and model healthy behavior. Reframing challenges also builds resilience. Difficult interactions can be seen as opportunities to understand perspectives, practice patience, and refine social skills. Each tense moment becomes a chance for growth. Social intelligence views setbacks as data, not personal failure. Recovery strategies include reflection. After challenging encounters, ask, "What triggered me? What signals did I notice? How did my response affect the outcome?" Reflection allows learning and adaptation, turning experience into skill rather than accumulating emotional burden. Support networks strengthen resilience. Sharing experiences with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues provides perspective and emotional relief. Social intelligence includes knowing when to seek guidance or external validation without over-relying on Italiano. Stress management techniques, mindfulness, meditation, exercise are extensions of social intelligence. When your baseline emotional state is steady, your interactions are more consistent, empathetic, and effective. Resilience is not reactive. It is proactive preparation for inevitable social stressors. Emotional contagion matters. In group or relational contexts, your emotional state influences others. Remaining calm and composed reduces overall tension. Panic, anger, or anxiety spread quickly. Social intelligence leverages emotional presence to stabilize environments. Failure and rejection test resilience. Socially intelligent individuals acknowledge disappointment but do not internalize it as personal deficiency. They separate events from identity, learn lessons, and continue to engage confidently. This mindset sustains long-term relationships and influence. Finally, resilience enhances authenticity. When emotionally grounded, you respond from clarity rather than impulse. People perceive reliability, fairness, and trustworthiness. Your presence becomes a stabilizing force, drawing others to collaboration rather than conflict. Reflect now. In your recent challenging interactions, how quickly did you recover? How often did emotions guide you versus clarity? Emotional resilience is a skill cultivated over time by observing, regulating, reflecting, and maintaining presence. You can navigate social complexity with calm, confidence, and compassion, turning potential stress into opportunities for connection, understanding, and influence. Chapter 12. Mastering Social Intelligence in Daily Life. Social intelligence is not a skill practiced only in extraordinary circumstances. It is a mindset and set of habits integrated into daily life. The previous chapters have explored awareness, emotional understanding, listening, trust, conflict, influence, connection, group, dynamics, power, and resilience. Now, it is time to bring all these elements together and see how they function seamlessly in ordinary interactions. Because mastery lies in consistency and presence, not occasional brilliance. The first step in daily practice is observation. Every interaction, no matter how brief, offers data. A barista's tone, a colleague's posture, a friend's hesitation. These are all opportunities to notice subtle signals. Social intelligence grows when attention is habitual. Over time, this observation becomes effortless, almost unconscious. You notice without judgment, patterns without forcing interpretation, and emotional currents without intrusion. Awareness of self and others remains foundational. Every morning, check your emotional baseline. Are you rushed, stressed, or calm? Are you open, defensive, or neutral? This self-regulation sets the tone for your interactions. People react not only to your words, but to your presence. If you approach the day grounded, interactions are smoother, trust builds faster, and influence increases naturally. Listening beyond words becomes second nature in daily life. When colleagues, family, or strangers speak, focus on their underlying emotions, paraphrase, acknowledge, and respond with empathy. Ask clarifying questions that show genuine curiosity rather than leading to argument. Listening consistently strengthens relationships and prevents misunderstandings from accumulating into conflict. Trust and psychological safety are nurtured daily through small, consistent actions. Arriving on time, keeping promises, honoring commitments, and showing reliability are invisible threads that weave strong bonds over time. People notice cumulative behaviors, not isolated acts. Social intelligence thrives in the accumulation of tiny, deliberate efforts. Conflict management also becomes routine. Instead of waiting for crises, you handle tension proactively. Small disagreements are addressed calmly, with respect and boundaries intact. Emotional regulation ensures that minor irritations do not escalate into long-term rifts. Over time, you develop a reputation as someone who navigates difficulty gracefully, a magnet for collaboration, loyalty, and respect. Influence and connection in daily life are subtle. You create impact through presence, tone, timing, and aligned intention rather than grand gestures or manipulation. People respond positively when they feel seen, understood, and respected. Your suggestions, guidance, or feedback are more likely to be welcomed because they arrive in a climate of trust and psychological safety. Group dynamics play out daily in meetings, social gatherings, or even casual conversations. Social intelligence allows you to read attention, power, distribution, and emotional currents. You can adjust your contributions to strengthen cohesion, elevate quieter voices, and manage dominance without drawing attention to yourself. These subtle calibrations enhance your ability to influence and build trust in any setting. Resilience is applied constantly. Daily life inevitably includes social friction, miscommunication, minor disagreements, or unexpected challenges. By maintaining emotional regulation, you respond with patience, clarity, and empathy. Reflection after interactions allows learning and growth. Small adjustments accumulate into profound social skill over time. Authenticity remains the cornerstone. Techniques, strategies, and awareness work only when grounded in sincerity. People can detect artificiality instantly. Daily social intelligence is less about manipulation and more about aligning behavior, intention, and presence. When authenticity is present, every interaction becomes easier, more trustworthy, and more influential. Practice in ordinary moments is mastery. Greeting someone with warmth, giving feedback constructively, listening to a colleague fully, acknowledging a friend's emotions, these seemingly small interactions are where social intelligence lives. Over time, the habit of mindful attention and deliberate response transforms the quality of relationships, influence, and personal satisfaction. Reflection and adaptation are continuous. After each day, consider, where did I read cues effectively? Where did I react impulsively? How did I foster trust or compromise it? What small adjustments could improve tomorrow? Social intelligence is iterative. It grows through observation, reflection, and deliberate practice. Finally, integrating social intelligence into daily life transforms not just how others perceive you, but how you experience the world. Interactions become smoother, misunderstandings decrease, and connections deepen. Influence is effortless because it is grounded in empathy, trust, and authenticity. Conflict is manageable because emotional awareness guides your responses. Resilience becomes habitual, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with calm, clarity, and confidence. Mastery is not about perfection. It is about presence, patience, and consistent attention. Every interaction, no matter how small, is an opportunity to practice, refine, and grow. Social intelligence is not a skill reserved for special occasions. It is a way of being a continuous, intentional engagement with the people and world around you. When practiced daily, it transforms relationships, careers, and life itself, creating an environment where connection, understanding, and mutual respect flourish naturally.